and welcome to Avalan's panel of experts that we have assembled exclusively for you to help our economy's most valuable resource, the small business owner, during these trying times. What are we going to do here? I want to introduce you through the course of this program to 10 esteemed experts in varying different fields of expertise that are all going to weigh in on things that we believe are going to be valuable to you as a small business owner in navigating through the coronavirus crisis. What are we doing this for? Is simply to be able to provide comfort and guidance to you, because we know that you are struggling, just like many of us, to figure out what's next and where do we go and how do we navigate. Hopefully this will be a great tool for you. The people that I've assembled, for the most part, are regular sitting members of Avalan's team of experts. And so what that means is that they sit on a regular basis with us as we brainstorm through the situations that our clients need the most help with. Some of the folks in the panel are not a regular member of our expert team that we brought in because the situation right now is a little bit different than what it's been. And so we have people in other areas of expertise that don't normally weigh in on the advice that we provide, but they're here also to give you a clear path. So how are we going to do this? We're going to make it easy to follow. We've created an index at the beginning of this process that'll actually be able to take you directly to any given speaker. We've time-stamped and indexed the topics. At the end, we're providing a resource link that you can actually click on and find resources that members of the panel have provided for you to be able to use. Some of them are things that you're finding in this massive amount of emails that you've been receiving, but here we're hoping to put a lot of things into one place. We'll also be breaking the entire video, which is about an hour and 20 minutes, into parts. So you'll be able to go directly to each topic if you'd like to watch it that way, or if you wanted to watch it as a whole, it'll be available to you that way as well. Remember that the panel that we put together today is my expert team from California. And while we have expert teams in other states, these are the folks that I brought together here. A lot of the information, or some of the information anyway, may be state specific. So please keep that in mind as you're listening to what's being talked about. And if you need to have a referral in your state where you're watching, know that it's likely that we have resources and teams in place right where you're at. So to that point, reach out. Find somebody here, be it myself or one of our panelists, where you will have their contact information, because we can refer you to great people in your areas. Okay, so who's Avalan? We are a wealth management firm that basically focuses primarily on resources to business owners. At least I do. The rest of the firm, we have other areas of expertise, be it in generational planning, trust planning, etc. But I really focus on business owners. We like to think of our company as one that provides advice beyond investments. Investments are an important part of what wealth management is, but it's really only about a fifth of it. The other 80% is in areas of things such as tax planning and intergenerational planning and charitable planning, right? And asset protection planning. So those are the things that we do and why we service the people that we do. We like to think of ourselves as basically we're by business owners, because we all own our firm, for business owners, just like you. I have been doing this for almost 25 years, and I'm a certified financial planner, CFP, and I've been working with people from little tiny individual mom and pop businesses, all the way back into when I was in college doing SBA administration counseling and guidance for small companies that were seeking loans, all the way up to publicly traded companies that we've worked for. And at one time we were providing retirement advice to a top 5 law firm nationally. So we've got a lot of great experience and done a lot of really great things over the years. What I'm going to share with you today are a couple of things that I think are important as we get into this, and then we'll let the panel discuss. So first, I think it's really important that the thing that you need to be thinking about more than anything right now is having discipline. Everything that we do right now is critical that we do it in a sense of great purpose, right, and with great discipline, be it navigating the landscape around us and making sure that our businesses can survive and possibly even thrive in this environment. but also discipline towards assets that we've accumulated and invested in and put to work in the marketplace, right? Being able to be disciplined makes a big difference, right? If you're able to stick to your goals and know that your goals won't necessarily be undermined, right? Because you haven't made bad choices at the absolute worst time. That's the way we're wired as human beings. So keep that discipline. It's really important. It's what's made you successful in business, right? And it's also going to be what makes you successful in getting to your end goals, right? Whatever they may be. So here's a theme to one point. Right now, right, if you don't need something, you don't have to take it, right? And there's a couple things that this applies to. So for example, business owners that have reached age of minimum required minimum distributions actually have to take them, whereas our employees that may be the same age don't. 2020 now, because of the situation that we're in, part of the Relief Act, the CARES Act that Congress passed, we now don't have to take those required minimum distributions if we don't want to. That's in our company plans and our IRAs, even inherited IRAs. So again, if you don't need it, leave it intact. It allows your portfolio to rebalance as opposed to having to sell, again, at the least opportune time. And when you rebalance, what you got to do is you got to take the things that have lost value proportionately and buy them with the things that have maintained or gained value in the portfolio, right? It actually allows us to do that magical thing of buying low, selling high, or as opposed to when you're selling out of panic or need in a bad time, you're doing the exact opposite, right? You may have bought at a higher level and sold low. And going back to, economics 101, we all know we want to buy low, sell high. So if you don't have to take that, this also applies to loans that are being made available through the CARES Act as well. So if you look at a couple of the things that are available to you, one of them in particular, the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan through the SBA, that's something that whether you need it or not, we're encouraging everybody to go to the SBA site and apply for. You can decide if you've been approved whether you want to take it or not, but part of that simply by applying, there's a $10,000 grant that will actually be made available to you. And the loan terms are very low interest rates for a longer period of time. So even if you don't necessarily need that money today to get through the crisis, if it's available to you, it might make sense for you to have it, to execute the loan and then have it available to you as we come out of this to use for future growth. But if you don't need it, you don't have to take it. To that end, if you do need it, take it. Right. So going back into the loan program, a lot of what we're hearing right now is about the PPP, or the payroll protection provision. It's proving as we speak to be very difficult in terms of banks being able to manage it and to be even able to make funds available. But if you haven't already, make sure that you're getting those loan documents put together, right, to try and provide that. Because the reality of it is that could be free money for you if you're actually using it to pay for payroll. If you're using it for the right reasons, it's per the act going to be a forgivable loan. Now, how much we can trust the government, who knows? But again, even if it's not forgivable, it'll be able to be paid back at a very low interest rate. So look at that opportunity and make sure that you're working with your local banker to be able to maximize your opportunity to be able to get that money. And if not in the first wave, we're expecting a second one. So posture yourself now, because some of the larger banks in particular are making it really hard for you to get money. So consider community banks, if that's at all an option for you. So that's the $10,000 advance I'd mentioned in the EIDL, the payroll protection provision, right? If you need it, go get it, go find it. By the way, that's basically 2.5 months of your payroll expenses that you then get to burn over 2 months, right? And so that extra half a month you can use for rent, utilities, things like that. And then lastly, advances on money from your 401k, your IRAs. They've relaxed that. The government's relaxed that in the CARES Act, where you can actually go and get twice what you could otherwise get through a 401k loan. And if you're taking these distributions versus a payroll loan, there can be tax benefit to doing that, right? Being able to pay that tax over a little bit longer period of time, or even having the ability to pay that back altogether at some point. So, and then also be able to take it without the federal penalty, which is typically 10% that's being waived on distributions from retirement accounts. So another place where if you need it, go get it. All right, I want us to get into the panel. It's time to hear from our panelists. These areas that they're all going to talk about are going to impact you greatly. And as we go through the information, right, as well as what I've just already shared with you, please remember that so much of this is brand new. It's very fluid, right? We're still trying to figure all this out. And in some cases, it's not even figured out at all. This is why we believe that having a team like the one that we've assembled here, as well as the teams that we as a firm assemble for our clients on a day-to-day basis, are critical to your success, not just in a COVID environment, right, but actually in your regular business environment, to have the experts and the resources available to you that can work with you collaboratively, consultatively, right? It's really, really an important thing to have. And this is why we deliver our advice this way, because we want our clients and business owners as a whole to be able to operate, right, with their eyes wide open and to see everything that's going on, and not just things in these little cylinders that typically get addressed, like in these little silos and cylinders. So